thanks to Jaguar for organizing this. So we have thankfully a mix of designers and lighting designers, and like we started out, lighting designers are not supposed to rag us during this entire episode. So we're going to have some trivial questions and you guys can elaborate on it. And this is to Harmeet and Vinayak to begin with. Sorry, I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little more. Do you genuinely think that there is a lighting trend? I'm coming from a backdrop that currently, as far as designers are concerned, we are in an era where you cannot define a trend. So is there, just to, cap the bull, is there a lighting trend that you guys can identify? One. If it is, can you sort of break it down into, say, a program or an aesthetic intent, or I will stick my neck out and say a popularity on Pinterest?
So there are a lot of jargons around.
Yeah.
It's same. There is a aesthetic side of it and there is a technical side of it. Both are there. More knowledge has come into the technical side of it, and that is bleeding down into decoratives as well. So decoratives, as I said, as a trend, I would say forms and bits, I would leave it to architects, interior designers. A lot of inputs come from them and they collaborate together with us, or sometimes suggestions into it, which will keep on changing and it will keep on happening different and different.
Sure.
I don't think it will be a great idea to put a trend onto it, which I agree with you. But at the same time, what is happening is, even when we are looking at decoratives in our projects, or what we are demanding is, they become relevant lighting source of the space also.
Okay.
Rather than adding it as a separate layer which is just there to look beautiful. It's very interestingly getting together, which is very nice actually, because more and more projects, I'm sure Vinayak will add a lot more to it, into it. We are not thinking like this is a decorative, this is the technical bit of it. Now we are thinking it's lighting, and more architects are collaborating together. More sketches are becoming fixtures.
Correct.
So which is a lot more fun. So that's what I would say is the trend. If you want to ask, it's neutral in its own. It has a lot of potential of creativity, a lot of potential of change, which the architectural element or the space or context what we are filling into demands, and it follows that. But at the same time, it's becoming a lot more technical, I would say, and which is something which is happening.
Vinayak, what is your take?
I think what Harmeet has said is very valid. Of course, he's talking about a very product based kind of answer to the trends. But I think I'll take the conversation a bit parallel to it, that lighting is crucial to our spaces, we all know. And of course, it's a very, very important element of design, architecture and interiors. The trend, if I'll say right now, is that as of now, my clients are looking for solutions which they're demanding kind of a less is more. They're demanding a solution where they're saying that give us a solution which is minimal, looking at the dynamics and the politics and the financial aspect of the market right now. They're telling us to give us a product and a design which is giving in less is more, giving us output.
Sorry, this is targeting a product, or this is targeting an ambience of less is more?
So this is going to be very, very intermixed to each other. Okay. Give us a design which has a product, but give that product which, being minimal, still does a big impact on the project. So the answer to your question would be a bit of a kind of a mixed kind of a query answer to that. So that is how our clients are getting into that less is more. That is something which they're demanding from us.
And these are and the scope currently vis-a-vis program is hospitality or residential, or we've grown beyond it. We've grown more. Like you said, we're educating and evolving a little more.
See, like I said, lighting something for us in this part of the world is new.
Yeah.
It's a more of a Western concept.
Yes.
People in America, people in Europe, people in that part of the world are used to lighting design. That is the name where pretty much the lighting designer's name is put on the board outside the building. That is where they're coming from. For us, this concept is very new.
Correct.
Hence, people are forcing us and pushing us to every boundary. May it be a residential, may it be a commercial, may it be a hospitality. I hope, Love, you agree to that. So I think we are constantly being pushed in every part of the corner.
Yeah. So I'm just going to follow it up with our designers here. So when you, sir or Love or anyone, free feel to jump in, when you're envisioning a space, has lighting become a default when you're planning something, or is it still something that you look to add on or hope that it's going to be enhanced? So is it a default lighting? Anyone?
Well, for me, what I feel as a designer, lighting should not be an afterthought. What products are out there, the designer should not be thinking that now this looks good and I should put it in. If supposedly you're doing a wall, and as Vinayak said, that we are pushing the boundaries are being pushed to the product as well. The product should not be the showcase of the wall. It should be the source is hidden, the lighting is there, but you don't figure out where it is coming from. Supposedly even a panel on the wall, you could paint it with a wall color, you could wrap around the wallpaper on top of it, but don't see that product being specifically there. That is what, for me, architecture lighting is like. You highlight the wall, but I am not highlighting the product of that part.
And sir, how about you? Sorry, I'm just going to change the context to what if we are looking at decorative lighting? What if you're looking at any of these products as a highlight feature? Is it from start? Is it part of the solution?
Absolutely, because I don't think, see, a lot of when we design as a process, as a system, unless and only we get the stronger inputs of finishes as well as any element which is going in, be it a wall, if architect, interior designers are already thinking, they're already thinking as they become a very relevant visual point in that space if you're talking about interior specifically.
Correct.
And it cannot be not thought while designing the space, and at the same time it's very important for us to have the awareness of it, because as I said, we need to understand. Of course we can put an inputs to it, maybe that'll take it to the next level which is there. Sometimes we are left to choose and give it to the interior designers and architects as well, depending on how the project is and what is the context of it, as I said. But definitely we need to have that awareness before we start putting down lights, as I say, in a very crooked or a crucial.
Correct.
It's no more that now. It's no more that. We need to be very, very, very aware of that. What is happening.
When we as designers start off with a design, a building, we start off with natural daylighting. Nothing can beat daylighting. There is no light till date that can actually beat daylighting. Once you're done with your daylighting, you know how these spaces would come out. Then you need certain accents, task lighting, general area lighting. We do think about some highlights that we already have in the back of our mind, but the technicalities, all of that would come later on. So that's how I think we start.
I would like to add, we're talking about a lighting trend to start with. It is difficult to design what is a trend, and it keeps on changing. I would say trend is a set of which defines the moods of the customer or the designers at any given point of time, which can keep on changing because of the technical advancements that have been made over a period of time. Lighting is very evolving, if you see, over the last 10 years. In fact, the changes what has happened over the last 10 years has not happened over the last 50 years. And again, every time you come out with a new design or a new product. So the challenge today is how do you define a trend or a product in terms of decorating for a customer. So it has again got two aspects. One is the aesthetic part and one is the technical part. What is happening is, from the customer point of view, he is more concerned about the aesthetic part, and the designer and the architects, they are trying to bring the technical aspect into it. So the best part is to how to create a balance between the two. Right. If you look at a simple product like say a table lamp, it can increase the, it can transform a commercial space, a small commercial space even, though it will not act as ambient lighting, but still you can draw much more in terms of the ambience and in terms of
yeah, so there's a potential to be an art product, and a space enhancer than just the ambient light product.
So that is, I think, where the designer they come into play. So the customer is not aware. Maybe he has got a very little idea, but there the designer, they can come into play and give the solution, different types of solutions to the customers.
Okay, so good parts that you touched upon. That leads me to the next query. Now, you did mention a role of technology, right? So I'm gonna just shoot out two queries that are in that direction. So, you think technology, incorporation of technology, is genuinely creating networks or automations, or is it in the realm of a gimmick right now? is it convenience or it's a lifestyle aspiration? So what do you think?
I'm completely phased out, struggling to come in the traffic anyways. Can you just...
Yeah, I'll repeat. So what we've been discussing lighting trends. There has been a conversation regarding whether we can define a lighting trend. There was discussion on ambient lighting, natural lighting, lighting as a product, lighting as an art piece. And also here touched upon the fact that there is a technology that has a play now. Vinayak touched upon the fact that lighting soul as an industry, or lighting designers and lighting consultants, is something very new that our market is latching on to. One thing we cannot run away from is the fact that every lighting consultant, beg your pardon, or a product person is involved in some sort of tech, right? We've all run our fingers over iPads to change colors or lux levels, and that is something that is in our face if we like it or not. And of course, there are a lot of things that get connected. You've got your airports and smaller hospitality, auditoriums, everything is linked. So I'm just saying that, is technology a genuine need? Is it about creating automation? Is it convenience, or is it just a gimmick currently?
Okay, I think let's start the journey from the basics. पहले एक कमरा होता था, उसमें लोग क्या करते थे, ट्यूबलाइट लगा देते थे छोटी सी, बस एक लाइट चाहिए थी. धीरे-धीरे करके, as we evolved, that was a need, in fact, actually in the Indian context, if you look at it, lighting was not a celebrated option. Lighting was the basic option.
Correct.
I mean, post-independence.
Correct.
And of course, I hate tube lights. But still, that was the concept. Ki light honi chahiye. It was a necessity. It was not a luxury.
Sure, absolutely.
So,
point made.
We slowly evolved through it, and it's a wonderful market. It's every scientist's domain. Light is life.
Sure.
When you talk of the speed of light, it is amazing. E is equal to mc squared. Yeah. So there is a lot of it's kind of a mystical journey. Light is a mystical journey. Play of light is what the main sensation that we do is what we see.
Sure.
And what we see is
Sure.
this play of light.
Sure.
And and the play of light is what lighting celebration is.
Sure.
So I feel technology should be used to celebrate it. I mean, whether it is in lighting, whether it is in LED, whether it is in touchscreen, it should be used, because technology can then balance it out,
Right.
to what we need ourselves.
Right.
For instance, I'll just take a very simple example. Like, let's say if somebody is in the hospital and they want to talk to somebody, so you can have a full screen, which is where the family house is being photographed, and you can talk. So technology has got a good emotional roles.
Yeah.
So I think technology should be celebrated. Lighting should be celebrated
Within the realm of technology as
within
well.
the realm of technology. Yes, why not? But one should overdo it.
Oh, that's a fine line.
Well, not that I'm going home and I'm planning how to switch on my lights while I am in the car 1 hour away. That's overdoing it. We need to balance it.
That's quite a romanticized perspective.
That's where we stand.
Can anyone help me with specifics on tech? How are you guys incorporating? If there's relevance you see?
He's a more tech guy.
Well, so I've coined a very simple answer to first. Getting back to your question, I think first of all, the technology, specifically when we talk about automation, we need to design for 300 days, not for the 65 days. Half the design is revolving around 65 special days,
Right.
and we make 300 miserable days.
Okay.
That is the biggest failure point, and I
Super curious. Elaborate, man.
how do we plan? When my birthday happens, I want this light to do there.
Correct.
Okay, New Year's, I need to celebrate.
Correct.
Oh man, that's one day. Do a special thing that day.
Correct.
Go to a little more detailed way of getting into the system and do it. So what is happening is you have 8 buttons on the wall, mostly, as we talk about. I'm not getting into specifics of it. So 8 scenes you have, one for birthday, one for New Year's, and one for some other day, and one for another day. And you're left with 2 for the daily 300 days. Well, that doesn't sound right to me. which is what it is. So yes, agree with friend that we need to be overdoing in the various perspectives, right from the car, yes, but at the same time in your house as well. Let's first celebrate 300 days.
Nice.
And let's also put a little more layer of complicacy to get to the 65 days. That's way how you plan your control system, but it is not being planned like this. And this is one of the most, I would say, I have clients, I've been doing lighting control since about 20 years now. That is one of the first, this thick touchscreen I programmed for HCL, this thick it was. And most of them, I've gone back and talked to them, are unhappy with it. Okay? Most of them are unhappy with it. And I have been trying to figure out why. Last 4 years back I coined this thing, and while we were working for a Antara senior living project where the problem was that we said lighting control should be used, and the client says it's designed for 50 plus. So it's going to make it complicated. That's where I started thinking, why should it be complicated? It should be simplified. Technology is going to do that. That is what it's intended to do. So then it was given up, and then suddenly we landed up about 8 switches at the board when you enter and that was more complicated because we didn't remember which one was it. And 50 years old, more a problem. So that's when we started working on this concept of 300 days, and we reduced it to 1 switch. So that switch, when you enter at 5 o'clock, gives you a 5 o'clock scene. When you enter at the morning, it gives you that morning scene. When you go to the evening, while you're sleeping, 2 o'clock you want to wake up. Why do you want to wake up the other guy and fumble into the wrong button? You should get that toilet scene. So it's all about configuring, programming, all that bit. So yes, technology is there, but we need to plan it and design it and sit together, think about it, and then answer it. So 300 days, not the 65 days.
I'd like to add something. Now we can hey Alexa, I want daylight, I want red light, I want blue light. You don't need for the elderly people. You don't need touch control anymore. This is voice command. Beta थोड़ी light कम कर देना. You can call Alexa beta.
I think what I infer is
Absolutely, it'll keep on happening every day. You will get more of
I think you have given Amazon the next answer. They should name the product in India.
I think what I infer is what is happening is people are making their life complex with automation rather than making it simpler. So what we need to do is to understand what exactly is the requirement. So what you said, is it a real of gimmick? I said at this point, yes, because not many people know what they want. They hear the word automation and they said, I want automation. What exactly they want, they have no idea. They go to some designer or some company who gives them blah 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 and they say they are good.
It's a pitch of an aspirational lifestyle which you don't know whether you require or not. So
Secondly, does the lighting company or the designers have to be a part of it? I would say yes, because the new millennials, they are all gadget happy. So maybe 10 years down the line, when they are the decision makers, they are going to buy new houses and they are going to be the decision makers in the next 5 to 10 years time. So you should be prepared for that. So what is happening is probably as of today, do you need to get into automation? Yes, you should have the idea and you can work on simple automation, not very complex automation. What is happening is people are working on very complex automation, whether even if it is for a commercial building or even for a residential building. So I think there is where you have to need to draw a line and work out how we can make best use of the automation.
So now just focusing at say decorative for a bit, remaining in the realm of tech. Now what are designers here generally also designing lights, luminaires, or are you designing your own lighting luminaires for whatever areas that you're making? And love, Weber, you can help me out. If you are designing, right? What's the role of craft anymore? So, is the reliance on that highly skilled labor in Moradabad still, or are we looking at a 5-axis CNC machine sitting in Munka? Where do you think you're operating in once you're, or is there a no black and white answer to this?
I think it's both of them actually. They also work with
It's an overlapping layer, and what's happening is like when you mentioned about the art. So imagine an art deco is essentially like now the lighting is like you have to mix up the two. So the luminaire, the thought process, the product that it comes out gives an art deco essentially feel, but the essence of it, the inside of it, will be elegant. So that has to be fused with technology, and how you can tone it down. The dimming facility has to be there. So if you are designing, let's say, a hospitality banquet hall, then for a conference the lighting will be completely different. And if you do a wedding, then the kind of lighting we want, it has to be dimmed out. So that has to be done in a very layered way. And it is like working with the craftsmanship, working the technology out. So even if you want to take, let's say, the lux levels have to be controlled with automation, but you have to be smart about it. So it's like an interview sort of thought process.
See, for me, sorry, no, just I'll make it a little quicker for that bit. As a lighting designer from an architectural background, for me, it's about carving the space through light. That's for me is the most important part of the design. All the decorative fixtures, of course, the intent has to start where the interior design has begun.
Correct.
What the basics are, like what Love mentioned about the Art Deco. The idea is to, of course, understand what is required by the architect, the interior designer, find the right product for them, right? That doesn't mean that we necessarily have to go back to the drawing board and start sketching.
Right.
There are zillions of products available around globally right now, where I'm sure something can fit in, unless you're working with a master architect who has asked for something which has not been made or done. Like finding a right lamp for Zaha Hadid's project was not easy.
Sure.
Finding the right lamp for Calatrava's project is not easy.
Correct.
Finding something for Tadawanto is not easy. That is something where you have to go back to the drawing board.
Correct.
Idea is to find something which is available, make your design revolve around it, and then give the right possible space exploration for the client and for the user. And that is where I feel should be the right direction. Of course, we get into making products and then experimenting with people and then saying, oh, this is not working, that's not the finish I saw. I think these are the gaps we have to fill in. And I'm sure there are million and zillion possibilities with the craftspeople available. And I think the market has improved tremendously in past all these years, thanks to evolving lighting market, I feel. So I think things are getting a bit better from every end.
Thanks to technology.
Thanks to technology.
Can I request the murmur to tone down a bit, please? Thank you. So I think you've kind of dwelled on an interesting thing. So what would compel a designer? And there are two questions in one. So first, when would you like a designer to sit along with a lighting consultant? One, as against what happens now. Okay. The second is, so what would compel a decision for, say, a Jaguar Swarovski chandelier as against not? Because you could, if you throw in on a grey wall, if you throw in a nice crystal chandelier, it can look as sexy as a very sleek, contemporary, minimalistic design. So is it a decision call, say, for you guys, the consultant is taking, or the interior designer is taking, or in an ideal world it's a conversation that hopefully gets resolved without a battle? So when would you take a call over a Swarovski over a knot, for example, or any other material?
See, the way things are as of now, the way things are moving in currently, we are called consultants.
Yeah.
Okay, that is something which I think people have to get out of it.
Correct.
Actually, there is a association called Lighting Consultants in America,
Yeah.
and then there's something called Lighting Designers in America.
There's lighting engineers as well.
Engineers as well.
Right.
So for us, Pan India, everybody's consultant.
Yeah.
Okay, we are not here to.
That's a struggle we have. I mean,
Exactly.
clearly.
And I think in past 15 years of being in industry, post architecture, I think me and Harmeet, we've all been telling everybody, start referring us as designers.
Designers, yeah.
We're not just consultants. We're not here to do lux level calculations for you.
Exactly.
It's required. It is part of it, and we do it. But I think it has to go beyond. Coming back to your question, I think the moment
Hit a nerve.
you always do, Abhishek. Every time the architect is finding the right concept imagery for the project, I think it is that time when a lighting designer should be called in. Okay, you don't have to hire immediately, but should be called in to have that basic conversations to be initiated. That this is what we are looking for and this is where exactly we think we should be going. Kindly guide us to what should be the right trajectory of the project. And I think this is where the first step should be taken, which should be initially, not when everybody else in board and then say, oh my God, I think lighting is something which we are lacking. This is exactly, I think we need to bridge the gap.
As you mentioned, I've got drawings where we have stamped good for construction. Iska lighting design kar. And I've sent it back. I said, it says good for construction, and if I touch this, it'll become at least 20 days delayed. So do you really want me to do it? So and as Vinayak says, one of the job is to select the technology or equipment, which is part of the role, which is important. But there's a lot more we can add value to. So which is what in fact I would like you designers, architects to answer this question. When do you want us? That's what it is, and you know it better than anybody else actually. That's the time while ideating, if certain bit of like you involve your daylighting, artificial lighting needs to be, you're already thinking, we know all that, and it's Vinayak has done it before in his earlier avatar. You always are thinking in that. Let's have a conversation at that time, because that will help the project, because we might be able to reduce something, we might be able to add something to it, and which will take those projects more integrally furthermore in the quality of spaces and quality of which we all are wanting to deliver. All of that. So it's that.
And what's the of course.
I think the part of the question was regarding Swarovski. Since I'm from the industry and we mastered the art of making Swarovski crystals. In terms of crystals, Swarovski are supposed to be the best in the world. And we have been manufacturing these chandeliers for almost 1.5 decades. Another key element is the customization, what customer is looking forward to. Not many people, even the architect fraternity doesn't know that we make those in-house. Secondly, we use best of the material. Even the plating is done in-house, where we do the 24 karat gold plating also. And that is why we are able to offer 7 years warranty on the plating. And we offer almost lifelong warranty on the crystals. Third thing is we can do a lot of customization in that. So we have got ready-made designs. Based on the size and the space, we can customize all those designs. Even if you have your own design, we can do that as well. So what is missing is not many people are ready to know about it. So I would rather use this forum to make it aware that.
Actually, that's very interesting. So here's to put Jaguar in the spot. Is there a conversation that Jaguar is having with lighting designers? Not necessarily that here's the range that you can modify, but what are the possibilities that happen and we can cater to as a collaborative, or we can manufacture, you design? Are those conversations?
We are having a lot of interactions with the architect fraternity. There are certain programs. This is one of the programs. We have a similar program which will be done in this week. Triple ID function at Indore, which is a major function, and you have IDEC in Mumbai, where we are participating, and we are participating in a much stronger way even than the bathroom, CBS. We are holding architect meets called Confab, which are done on regional basis, even the state basis. So we keep on interacting with the architects in different forums. The footprint has increased over the past 1 year time. Till about a year back, the CBS was a big brother. Now they have asked us to also take lead and act in a much more aggressive manner. So now yes, not many people were aware, but the interaction has happened. It has increased. We are in touch with many more consultants.
Behind the scenes? So behind the scenes, are you?
Yes, certainly. We have got a complete MDS team and the BDM team from lighting perspective only, who are going and meeting those architects and the fraternity members to make them aware what we can do, what is our strength and how we can help them and collaborate each other.
But what's the price? Because when you customize, will it be
certainly we have got all price. I'll just to give
either buy from a standard range, which in itself is high. And you customize.
I'll tell you, we cater to all types of price points. Coming to crystal chandeliers, we have got a range which starts from MRP of 40,000 to goes to 50 lakhs. So if there is a budget hotel or a banquet hall where the customer is only looking at a Chinese option, then we can again customize to his requirement, where we change the crystals also. So that option is also there. but our strength is crystallized Swarovski, which we, because crystal, what do you mean by crystal? Crystal is sort of a glass which got a high refractive index. It gives you sparkle, shine, it is visual to the light. So customer doesn't know what exactly is the difference between a glass and a crystal. That is what we try to tell them. So if you want to use a crystal or a chandelier for a longer period of time, glass will go just, the shine will go off after 1 year, while our crystal will be there for years together. So I think there where you can come and play a role by saying, though you may have a budget, but you can still look at the different options which are available in the marketplace.
So this is actually nice what he's adding on to that, having an Indian company right there on the map. Like whenever I talked about crystals, having a K9, K4, whatever crystals and Swarovski as well. So we were always thinking of companies like Preciosa, Sensuji. Now seeing Jaguar right there, and as you mentioned, you have a range starting from 40,000 goes to 50 lakhs. We have put up 50 lakhs as one of the chandeliers. Again, if it could be customized, it could have been, in a price range of 30 lakhs as well. Then we recently finished a project in Dehradun Hyatt Regency, and we were looking at Sensuji. He asked for a customization, the budget went up to 1.5 crores, and that was the whole lobby budget as well. So putting in one chandelier 1.5 crore and having a whole lobby of 1.5 crore. So in that way, I would say like Jaguar would be the next thing that I'll be looking at as one of the competitive companies as well.
So this event worked out, huh? Okay, so on those figures, right? So while we might all agree the role of light, decorative light, artificial light, natural light, the proverbial question always remains is convincing the patron, right? And this is, I think it's a bit tricky scenario. It's not only budget, but as a design intent, Vaibhav, maybe you can help me out here, is in what scenario and what possibilities are you able to not convince, but at least have the conversation starter with a potential patron that I can do this much, the rest of the role is of lighting, natural or artificial. Do you have those conversations that, here's a piece, okay, this is all set, but what will really enhance this is a really nice decorative, table lamp, chandelier, and so on and so forth.
We do, and fortunately in most of the cases we've had clients, I would say, patrons clients, who have been ready to accept this fact that yes, you do need another designer apart from an architect to carry out these special tasks, because most of the times a few clients would say, you're the architect, come on, you'll know it all.
Yeah.
You should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Parking, lifts, lighting, structure, everything.
Yeah.
But then there are, fortunately,
We enjoy that nonsense also. Let's be real.
there are people who understand this. Now with people traveling more and more, people being educated abroad more and more, people have the illumination to actually understand that you do need specialized people for specialized tasks. So,
Sir?
I met Mr. Nimesh who did the Udaipur villas. He said the light का मजा ही तब है जब light दिखे ना. Light दिखे तो फिर वो. But at the same time, we need to celebrate. It's like saying that we should all abandon jewelry, we should not have jewelry. So when you see a Swarovski, it's a beautiful piece of jewelry, so it's nice. But I feel as an architect, my main focus is, as the lighting experts, is where what you want to focus gets lit up. One of the best examples of a lighting in the film world is the Gurudutt movie when वक्त ने किया एक light गिरती है बेदर. So we have to decide what we have to focus on. Therefore, lighting fixtures, designing lighting fixtures, then come into the realm of product design. But there have been architects like Frank Lloyd Wright who have been designing the light fixtures, which we architects can do. But that also is not the light fixture itself. That is just the case and the stained glass design. So, but there is a lot of collaboration possibilities, and I am quite excited to come here because there is a hope here, और मैं तो बोलूँगा कि अगर सर आप कस्टमाइज कर रहे हैं तो आर्किटेक्ट को पेटेंट देके आप कस्टमाइज कर रहे हैं, आप आर्किटेक्ट से फ्री डिजाइन भी ले रहे हैं.
Sir, you are most welcome, sir.
आप वो 50 लाख का शैंडलियर 60 लाख का कर रहे हैं, तो वो फेयर नहीं है. वैसे भी you would agree with me that apart from lawyers and doctors, architects को तो वैसे ही
So we're delving into a beer conversation.
That should not be there. So, but only if the industry puts in something for R&D, then only this movement will happen. Otherwise, you will have fixtures which have been designed by somebody like the hardware. It's been just designed. You handle milega, take it or leave it. Your light fixture milega, take it or leave it. To engage, somebody has to be interactive.
Yeah.
You can't be yes, sir. If you want to get into the mass system, if you want to do one or two selective projects, then it's okay. But then for you to reach, दिल देना पड़ेगा. Business platform से उधर
Correct.
आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा. तभी कुछ होगा. Otherwise, it will become a very alienated industry. And why aren't we thinking of lighting for the masses? Have you ever thought about it? Or it's only for the rich? Something that is only for the rich has got some design which is doesn't have a design everything. It's like when the Maruti 800 came in, suddenly our economy boomed.
Yeah, fair.
So we must think how we can do the full spectrum.
Yeah, fair point. And does the other way happen? Sorry, this just kind of took me to, I digress a little, to the GFC point, where you guys are playing a role where the lighting has become paramount, and now everything else is changing or evolving, for the sake of a better word, because that lighting decision was primary.
It's happening in last, I've been doing this 15 years now. In last 5 years, more and more is happening both the ways. It's also because of the awareness of the industry. Architects actually have started sitting with us at that time, which we are mentioning. More and more is happening like that. We are sitting and contributing not only to the light fixtures, which we used to do, or we are supposed to do, or asked to do sometimes, also telling that this will reflect too much.
Yeah.
So probably you want to look at it again, and probably you want it. Oh, lovely. Let's move ahead.
Yeah.
So these kind of a conversation.
But be aware of the fact.
Yeah.
that
So it's, and on the other side, complete project screwed up
yeah.
and called, and then everything was done. Everything was done. I have a project which is very interesting one. 30,000 square feet of a tile store, which we did, which was covered a lot in magazines in Marmo, the Intersect, which was, they looked for us after the problem was there, and they realized this has gone wrong. And right from the owners, architects who walked in, everybody mentioned that this is completely wrong. That's when we were engaged, and then all of the interiors were fine-tuned into it to accommodate lighting, not for the interior spaces. Spaces are still same, but a lot of ceilings were broken, a lot of details were changed to get the lighting into right places, and then we got a good project, and which is loved by a lot of people. And yeah, so it's both the ways, both the sides.
And Vinayak, is this the same component in, say, outdoor? I know you guys do a lot of facade lighting and landscape lighting. So is there a sculptural element that is essentially meant for the masses to enhance spaces? And well, if you identify the product, it's also a sculptural element.
Now you are asking with respect to
I'm asking
what
two things. So, when you step in,
Yeah.
the decision to enhance the onus is on you completely. And now there are two scenarios. When let's say it's night,
Yeah.
then it's the concealed light. When it's the day, it's actually the sculptural element which is enhanced. So
No, I think it's absolutely right what Praneeth is saying, that the complete onus is left on us. It's like architect doesn't want to commit a suicide by himself.
yeah,
He wants to carry somebody else along with him, and that's when we get the final BOQ that, I mean, actually while we are talking, I'm supposed to fly to Bombay on Friday
Right.
for a celebrity project, where things have been ordered, but I've been called specially for this, just to come and check that is
Yes,
everything
are you
okay?
sure?
Yes. Okay, and it's only for that bit, because now they're scared that what we have done may not be correct.
Yeah.
So they might have bought the Fendis and the Armanis of the world,
Yeah.
but the lighting is absolutely, they don't even know and a clue about it. So the onus is left on us, and that is where exactly our experience has to now be counted in, that what should be done so the impact is less, right? And still it looks good. And that's exactly where the decorative fixtures are going to come and help me. Because where things have been fallen in the architectural, these beautiful decoratives are going to take over that missing lighting element, which I feel should have been given in the first place. So it's like a complex thing, you have to balance it. There are times when the clients have told me at the last minute that, oh, the client have deleted the decoratives completely. And I said, well, what will happen to my light calculation then? They said, we don't know, you're the master. I said, what do you mean by that? So you know what I'm saying? So there are these numerous scenarios which we have been through, okay, where the things are happening the next week, clients are moving in, and there are decisions. So this is exactly what I think, that's where the real play comes in of our profession, right?
Correct.
And
It's like that कि एक living room में lamp है, ये देखने के लिए जलता नहीं है. Design है ना.
Exactly. So I think it's very interesting, but I think we're just kind of used to it, and I think that's exactly I was telling Weber, that we should be taken forward from the day one so that these last end errors or these last end surprises don't happen to us.
Correct.
Right, that's how.
Correct.
Cool. I'm done with my queries. So yeah.
That's it.
Thanks to Jaguar for hosting this. Thank you for having us. Thanks for the panel. Thank
Pleasure
you
is
very
all
much
ours.
for having interesting. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you.
Thanks
Thanks for
guys.
coming.
Thank you.